Hello, everybody. All right. Yes, it is me, Mega Gamer Man. I am the host for this Gamescom wrap up, and today I have with me two other gents. And go ahead and introduce yourselves whenever you feel. You know what, Zen? Go ahead. Introduce.
Alright, people, you already know it is. Ninja the Zen Gamer, the one and only King of Logic, here to talk some Gamescom. Going to try to keep my temper down because, oh boy, this has been a frustrating couple of days for me, let's put it this way, but I want to save it. I want to save it because Friday's going to be really good. But for now, we're just going to talk some positive news about Gamescom, the very little that there is.
All right, and next we have Ken Jefferson coming at you.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Dr. Feelgood here, the guy with the smooth moves and nice tunes in a gaming mood, and ready to share my opinions of this Gamescom wrap-up here.
All right. Also just to note to everybody who's watching, you can leave questions so that way, we can answer them, and, any question you got, we'll try to get. So we'll answer those like when we're at the end. So first off, let's start off with Microsoft. Now, Microsoft started out with, basically games. They didn't talk about any TV whatsoever. Surprised again. Except for one thing. That was Halo, right? That was the Halo TV series and the Halo channel in general. Um, but yeah, so what did you guys find like excellent throughout like Microsoft's press conference? What really intrigued you?
Alright,
So we're gonna go ahead and start.
alright, great. I'll go first then. Microsoft. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm a huge Halo fan, and so anything to do with Halo gets an automatic A plus 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 from me. So the fact that they opened up a bit more about the Halo channel, which if you didn't know will be the advanced version of Halo Waypoint. Not exactly sure I agree with the name change, but whatever. It's supposed to be more ambitious, more open, more all-inclusive version of what Waypoint used to be, or is, should I say. So I'm good with that. It gives you a lot of backstory and a lot of extra content from the Halo
Hmm.
universe. And we'll be launching, I believe, simultaneously with the Master Chief Collection. Speaking of which, perfect segue, because I'm a boss. Um, the Master Chief Collection and Halo 2 multiplayer was revealed, a little bit more about it was revealed. Um, we got to see a couple maps. We got to see a few more weapons. We got to see and get some details about the Halo 5 beta, which will be included for the same price, nothing additional, in the Master Chief Collection. As I understand, you'll be able to get, I believe, 7 maps to play on from the full Halo 5 game, which will be next year, as you know. 11 weapons to play around with, which I believe are like half the weapons in the game. Same thing with the maps. And I believe 7 suits of armor to try out. Now, I'm not sure if any of you listening have any experience with betas in general, but that's a hell of a huge beta. That's a lot of stuff to try out. It runs from sometime in December to January 19th, approximately 3 weeks, so maybe just a little bit more than that. And that's a whole 9 months out from the full game releasing. So I've got to say, this is a beta, not a demo. This is a beta because what we find in this game, bugs, things that need to be either nerfed or buffed, certain adjustments, whatever the gamers are not perfectly satisfied with, the developers in turn, this being 9 months out from the original game's release, will have time to go back in and adjust anything that needs adjusting. So I was happy with that. I'm perfectly happy with that. That was really, really good. Trust me, I was drooling at the mouth when I saw some of these remastered maps. I just can't wait to get on there. Well, to get my Xbox One and get on there. Everything else from Microsoft, you got that whole big internet-wide conflagration caused by the so-called exclusivity of Tomb Raider. I'm not going to dive too much into that because I intend to do so again on Friday. But for now, I'm just going to say Sony chose the wrong enemies, the wrong persons to compete against, directly compete against. Because you don't compete with Daddy Warbucks, man. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You don't do that. They will fill bags of money for the sole intent and purpose of pimp slapping you with it. That's the way it is. You don't compete with them on a money standpoint. You got to compete with them on maybe an exclusive first party standpoint. So they just bought exclusivity, timed exclusivity, as the news broke this morning, of Tomb Raider, with the rise of Tomb Raider. Lots of people are pissed off about that. But again, not going to delve too deeply into it. Let's see, what else did they talk about that interested me? Oh yeah, the bundles. There's an Overdrive bundle, white. Very, very ugly color, I'm sorry. After my original Wii, I'm done with white. So that doesn't interest me at all. We'll still be buying Sunset Overdrive though, the game itself. And the Modern Warfare, not Modern, I almost said Modern. I did say Modern. The Advanced Warfare bundle for $4.99, 1 TB hard drive. Crazy price. I mean, there's no way $100 should be equivalent to 500 gigs. I'm sorry, that's just not the way it is, especially on a console that can use external memory. The system itself is ugly. Just gotta say it. Not just ugly, it's fugly. So, you gotta say it. I'm sorry, just being honest here. That shit is just not attractive whatsoever. And honestly, I'm very disappointed they didn't make Master Chief Collection Xbox One Special Edition, because I would have waited to buy that and bought it then. I would have done it because I'm just that big, that huge of a fan. But whatever. I suppose Microsoft knows best, but they don't, because Tomb Raider is coming to the Xbox 360. But whatever. Whatever. It was a mixed bag in my opinion. Gamescom is just E3 reheated, or E3 that we don't food that we actually don't need to see or hear about anymore. It's just reheated food, yesterday's food, hot again. So whatever. We've seen most of this at E3. That's just about it. That's what impressed me. That's what didn't impress me, and that's my basic overall gist on what happened on the Xbox side of things for Gamescom.
All right. So I guess that really fills up the list. But Ken, what did you feel about Microsoft's Gamescom? What were the positives for you in what they showed, or like what did they show in general like intrigued you? So go ahead if you're there.
Ken Jefferson, the platform is yours. 1, 2, 3, go! No? Okay.
All right then.
Hello?
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, guys. For some reason, like Google Plus, Hangouts muted me. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh man.
yeah.
Oh, well.
But go ahead. So, like, what really intrigued you in Microsoft's whole conference there?
I'll have to say overall I was very pleased with it, but the best part about it to me, and I actually may go out and get this, although I'm not in a rush to get it, so if I don't feel bad, but the Sunset Overdrive bundle, to me that was one of the highlights of it. I mean, of course, I think it's a great bundle. The Advanced Warfare bundle is pretty good, but I'm of the same opinion as Zen here, which $100 does not really justify the extra 500 gigs. And in fact, that extra 500 gigs should be included for free, since every game requires a mandatory install. This should be the next step.
Mm-hmm.
Like that should be the next standard in your console, which is the 1 GB hard drive. And plus, since they just did a patch that allows them to use external memory, it's not necessary. It's not. But I do appreciate the fact that that console not only has a custom Xbox design, but a custom controller as well. So I do give them credit for that.
All right.
That was pretty much. I mean, I did like the video they showed of, Sunset Overdrive. It was nothing too new. It was a little bit comical. You can see they kind of bit Nintendo a little bit there. But What else was there? Okay, of course, Halo. Even though I'm not the biggest Halo fan, I have to admit they really are going. I hate to say this, balls deep with that. Like they really are. Like they go out of their way to please all of the hardcore Halo fans with that. It's kind of like what Activision did with Call of Duty with the whole Call of Duty Elite, except it's far better what they have planned. So
All
I do
right.
give him credit for that. What else got my attention at this thing? I only actually just watched, I think, today. So not everything's, that fresh on the memory because I was at work. But, I mean, I'll leave it at that. If I come up with anything else, I'll bring it up later on.
All right. Well, to me, Microsoft, I mean, they did good. Today we got some bad news, but that'll be for some other time. But yeah, so in total, I really like that, they had three different bundles. Well, actually two, because I don't care about one of them actually, enough. So of course you had one which was the Advanced Warfare bundle. The second one was the God dang it, Madden NFL freaking 15 bundle, and you also had not Quantum Break. What am I saying? Sunset Overdrive bundle. So it really was. I mean, I like how they did it with the Advanced Warfare. It's like a custom one, but like they said, why am I paying $100 for 500 more gigs? It should be at where it is 400 with the game. That would be the best deal ever, and that would definitely fly off shelves. But I really can see them going around and making that Halo one around when Halo 5 comes out, because if they don't, I mean that's really a missed opportunity. Because that would really actually sell consoles. Just make it like, oh, I don't. They can make the best design. Trust me, they really can if they just put their mind to it. But yeah, the bundles were okay. It's something somewhat. Except I have a problem with the Call of Duty one where, I mean, without the Kinect, and you have a 1 terabyte hard drive, that's kind of too much. I'm saying like $500. Really? No, 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 no. It doesn't cost that much just to put in another hard drive. But uh, in general, I mean, when they showed off Halo. Now, to be honest, everybody, I never played Halo. Yes, dun dun dun. Yeah, yeah, I never played Halo. So I really do plan on getting the Halo collection, since it's gonna have every single Halo, well, mostly every single Halo, except for the spin-offs, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's gonna include. So I just can't wait to actually go ahead and enjoy it and play it, because I'm gonna be getting Xbox One soon, and this will be actually a really good start for me, to at least know what's going on in the Halo universe, and get ready for Halo 5, which is coming out next year. So really great that they're doing that. I liked how, because I actually went back and saw some videos of like Halo 2, like the original, and what they really did with this. I love how they redid everything. It looks amazing. I like that you get all the maps, you get basically everything in this whole collection, which is amazing, and I like that. It's really, really nice, and it's really worth the money. That is like worth the money. Like, you have 4 different games in one disc with every single thing on it, and they all have their each individual multiplayer. Heck yeah! So it's really nice to see them do that, and surprisingly, what caught a lot of people's eye was the whole Tomb Raider thing. But I won't get into too much detail with that, because that goes into a negative space. But it's. I mean, you just can't. You can't, man. I'm sorry. You just can't. When Microsoft goes in to pay for exclusives, they go in to pay for it. They're not like, all right, hold on, let me pay you 100 and then pay you back the other 100 later. Nah, 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 nah. They're like, here's a bag of money, give it to us. But something, of course, came up today, so that'll be for another time. But it's in total, Microsoft. It was decent. It was really decent, and we actually just got somebody here, and that is Mr. Red Fox. Go ahead and introduce yourself. You just came in. Out of nowhere.
It's me. I'm back. I'm just here just to say that I was underwhelmed by Microsoft and Sony's conferences.
Oh, that's just harsh, man.
I was underwhelmed.
Hold on, underwhelmed compared to what? That's very important.
Well, I was okay. I use the same criteria I had for E3. I wanted these people to show me something that made me say, you know what, I got to go out and buy a PS4 or an Xbox One. And what I saw was, I'll wait. I'll wait till next year. So it was underwhelming to me. Like if I own one of those two consoles, the games they showed were like, these really aren't setting my wallet afire. You know, I'm not like, oh man, I got to buy this.
But see, me, even when these consoles launch, and even up until this point, I've been where my plan was I got a Wii U at launch, but I said I would get the Xbox One and the PS4 holiday 2015. That was my first expectation. I mean, I was sticking to that. Then when I saw Microsoft's E3 conference, I said, well, I may actually get it, early 2015. May actually get it. Even potentially holiday this year. But even with this Gamescom, I can honestly say they did just as good as they did at E3, and I may actually pick up one of those bundles. Me, preferably, it may end up being a white one for Sunset Overdrive. But I can honestly say that I definitely do want to pick up an Xbox One, this year. I can say Microsoft has done that for me. They've made kind of a big turnaround, and they're doing more. I won't put them on the same level as what Wii U showed at E3, but I can say they've advanced themselves a year when it comes to my wallet making that dedicated purchase.
All right.
And one last thing,
Oh yeah.
Screen Ride was pretty cool to look at. I have to say, I have a little bit of interest in that game, Screen Ride.
All right. And I also forgot to mention, I'm also interested in Sunset Overdrive. I really want to play that game. It's made by Insomniac that made Ratchet and Clank. So I love the Ratchet and Clank series. So I'm hopefully I'll be able to get this soon when it does launch. And because I actually want to really play this because it really looks interesting. It really does. And I just actually can't wait for it. But now moving on to our next competitor here, Sony. Yeah, I know there's a lot of negative, but let's just go with the positives for now. Negatives will be dealt with
before you start, let me ask you this question, and this may not be applicable to you, but from after their conference, from what reaction overall have you seen from the Sony fans? Have you seen mostly negative or mostly positive reaction in regards to their Gamescom 2014 conference?
I saw, of course, from everybody who's a Sony fan. I would say mostly upset somewhat because
Okay, well, yeah, I just thought I'd ask before you get started because I can honestly say that today, somebody I know on Google Plus, he's like, Sony won it hands down. I'm like, what conference were you looking at? I will admit that they did okay. They did a lot better than they did at E3.
Ken, didn't you hear, man? Sony won E3 too.
Zen,
They did.
Zen, I'm not drunk, high, or crazy enough to believe that.
Well, there are some people who apparently are.
Man.
So to those people, Sony won Gamescom too. Hell, they won TGS and they didn't even start it yet. So.
Well, basically, it's just Sony. God dang it! But just what? All right, all right. Let's go with All right, you know what? Let's go with good things and bad things. All right. But all right. Let's do that with Microsoft too. So what Well, you basically Zen. You already explained the bad
Yeah.
things. So Ken, what were the bad things in Microsoft's conference? So I'm gonna do this both ways now. What do you think was like bad?
Boom, no,
You know.
no, boom, no, no, no. Boom, no, no, no,
Okay, Red Fox. What do you think was bad?
What do I think Sony did bad?
No. Microsoft. Because
I think that when Phil Spencer opened his mouth and revealed that they don't actually have a time. I think the fact that Phil Spencer actively admitted that, hey, I just spent a whole bunch of millions of dollars to have a game exclusive for 3-6 months, and when I could have taken that money and had an in-house first-party studio make something that would be exclusive, forever. That was dumb. That was dumb.
But Red, ask yourself this question though, and people, for all those listening, I'm not bashing. I'm a fan of all consoles. However, looking at this, you made a good point. They could have spent that money elsewhere. A permanent exclusive is a lot better than a timed exclusive. But what is easier to do to put money into building up a brand new studio and then have them produce an IP? Because that takes 3 or 4 years, and people aren't going to wait for that now. We would, but most people would not. Or is it easier to say, hey, Square Enix, come here for a little bit. How about we give you, this game costs $50 million, we'll give you $25 million on your budget if you give it to us for 3 to 6 months exclusively. I'm telling you, that's the easier deal to take because it requires them to do nothing on their part except hand over money. Handing someone money that you can throw away is always easier than trying to make it on your own.
Here's the thing. That would be cool, except for one small thing. There's a new CEO of Xbox there, and he's under pressure by the shareholders. Why are we keeping around this leprous limb that is no good, and it just keeps on poisoning the rest of the body? And it's called the Xbox division. And the problem is that it has not made money, and just throwing more money out. I mean, here's the thing, okay? If you're one of the big three, a first-party manufacturer, a first-party console manufacturer, and you have your first-party studios, and you're throwing money that could be building up your own portfolio so you could sell stuff that makes you money and only you money, versus throwing money at someone that's going to make someone else a lot of money and you very little money. I mean, it's never.
It's called short term versus long term, because the investors want money now, not 10 years from now, not 5 years from now. They want money now.
Short term, okay. Tomb Raider is not going to sell that well. It's not. I mean, let's just be frank here. It's not going to sell well. Tomb Raider is a PlayStation moneymaker, not a Sony money, not a. So basically, he paid out money.
Kind of cracking up a bit.
He paid out money for something that's not going to make him money.
But you know why he did? I think he did it because it's a psychological thing. Just like when Final Fantasy 13 was supposed to be, initially it was PS3 only. Then we found out that Xbox was going to get it too. Just like Star Ocean and a few other games that would, even Grand Theft Auto used to be strictly on a PlayStation console. When you steal away exclusives, it makes one party look bad and another party look more favorable. And then, this year, they could announce this at E3, or possibly even in a random announcement that you would probably read on IGN. Just release a statement saying this to the to the press. However, what do? They stuck it in Sony's own territory. Stuck a knife in the chest in their own territory by saying, "Hey, even though the game sold better on their last gen console, and even the definitive edition sold better on their console, it's now going to be ours, at least for a short amount of time." It's psychological because Sony's already looking; they're not doing too good.
But here's the thing: having essentially this is two dudes who has the baddest car, right? But what's the use of having the baddest car when both you and the other guy can't afford to put gas in it? You know what I mean?
But
My car can go
but
this
it's
fast.
you're right. That's a good point. But in the end, what is it about? It's about who's gonna pull the most women.
Look, man, look. If you can't take the woman on a date, it's a moot point. Look, she's gonna get in the car with the Japanese dude with the little Toyota, who's like, "Please understand." And directly to you, because he can actually start his car and get it down the road, which
I
is
mean,
completely different. Hey, man, look at this bad car. Can you afford insurance? No. Then what's your point? So,
I
I
mean,
mean, I think that was dumb. That was a dumb thing Microsoft did. As
I mean,
far as
but
we haven't gotten to it yet, but I digress.
But the
I mean,
thing is,
but let me ask you all a question though. Seriously, like, let me ask you all the questions. Give me your honest answer. Looking at this from the outside in, looking at this from the outside in, honestly, just a glance. How do you feel to about both these consoles? If you didn't know all the deep dirt about them, if you'd have glanced at this, if you knew that, oh well, it was on both the PS3 and Xbox 360, and it was the remake was also remaster was on the PS4 and Xbox One. Looking at this just at a glance, would you feel more confident about Sony or about Xbox? The fact they can pull that off.
If I was the normal Joe Blow consumer, I'll be honest, I'd be like, wow, I have to have the remastered edition. Unfortunately, I started gaming like 25 years ago, so
No, but I mean, but how would you feel towards like who would you gravitate towards with this new announcement? Would you gravitate towards the Xbox because basically they kind of stole it? Would it be with money or not? Would you still be like, I'll wait for the PS4 version because it's still a cooler console? You'll start looking at things differently.
I would go with one of the
you
two,
know,
either Microsoft or PS4. Right now, a lot of the games look the same to me. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of the games coming to those consoles, I mean, aside from your Sunset Overdrives or your Rhyme or something like that, I mean, a lot of those games are a lot of brown and grays and dudes shooting. So, I mean, I don't really. I mean, it would become like a coin flip because, I mean, to Joe Blow consumer, I mean, it's like you have two choices of the same type of around. It's a 4-car sedan, but both of them look. I mean, I would say Xbox had some guts, but I might go with that one. I might go with the PS4, but I mean, both of them would look very attractive to me if I didn't know any better. Unfortunately, I do.
all right. Well, getting back to the conference, the thing is, like, what did you think was like bad with the conference in general?
Who's going first? Me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
'Cause, actually, just wanted to so that way we can move on to Sony.
Okay. Well, Sony's conference. I think I mentioned this today on the post, but to me, a whole bunch of trailers, and what's
Wait,
even worse, you say what bad about Microsoft or Sony?
Microsoft. I said
Okay,
Sony.
I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Okay, I'm
sorry.
sorry. Microsoft conference, I would say I'm still of the opinion that each console needs more than a few exclusives. I'm not saying it's all about exclusives, but just like Sony, what they primarily showed was a bunch of third-party content. It's like the third-party companies got them all in a room. I mean, well, got them both in a room, and they all sit there and then they just pick teams. It's like you pick guys for a
Mhm.
team. It's like Microsoft, oh, I'll take Call of Duty, and I'll take Tomb Raider, and then of course places like, well, we'll take this and that. It's like that's what it felt like to me, but it's like they're both bragging about games they're both getting, and with Xbox, I kind of feel the same as I would towards Sony that I do give them credit that they showed more gameplay footage, and but I would say the only bad thing I thought the little Halo match they played was a little too short.
Mm.
It was like what 1 or 2 minutes. It's like I understand they didn't say they were going to do that, but at the same time, if you're gonna show me some multiplayer, who the hell does one little 4 minute match or 2 minute match? I mean, I thought that was kind of a downer
All
for me.
right.
I enjoyed it, but it was kind of a negative for me. But other than that, I wish they would have just showed, you know, more. less trailers, more gameplay. Even though it was kind of even, it's just I was ready to see a little bit more from them. But they didn't do bad. I would say they didn't do bad. I think they did good.
All right. So let's move on to Sony. But once again, guys, you can leave your questions on the. All you have to do is right there. It says on the bottom left corner, if you want to interact with this hangout or podcast. So go ahead and click that, and that way you can ask questions, and we'll be happy to answer it. So let's move on to Sony now. God dang it. Okay. This is gonna be hard. The thing is now, let's focus on the positives first. So who wants to start off with that?
Oh boy. All right.
Yeah. All right.
Come
Go.
on, Zen. Yeah, man. Go, man. Go. You can do it.
This. What can I say, man? What can I say? What is there to say? Okay, fine. So
Well,
they
there's,
had,
there's one thing you can say. You can say greatness awaits because that is a positive notion.
Greatness. Wait.
I think they showed more about the order, right?
Yeah.
They showed more about that. That's good. They had that new IP thing, The Wild. They also had this other IP's horror type IP. I can't remember the name of it right now, but they had that.
And rhyme.
And Ryan, right? Let's see. What else did they have? What else did they have?
You seem to be thinking very hard, sir.
I mean,
Yes. This is actually difficult.
They threw in like a 5-second clip of Uncharted 4.
Well, all right. Yeah, there we go. So Uncharted. Yeah, they had that. That's it.
all right. Hey. It's all good. It's all good. It's just about what you think was positive. It's all right. Don't worry. We'll focus on the negatives next. But all right. Anybody else want to go up for it? Ken?
I actually have more positives. I can honestly say,
Okay.
Wild. I am intrigued, but only a little bit because we've all seen big, what's the word I'm looking for? We've all seen these big open world games that have a lot of potential and they're very, very ambitious. But when it comes down to the gameplay of what you can do in that world, it is a falling flat. So,
All right.
we've all seen that. I think the one game it was a racing game called Fuel back on the Xbox, I think. That big ass open world racing game, but there was like really nothing to do in that big ass world. So that's what I'm afraid of. But it does look interesting. I have to give it that. It looks like they kind of took Project Spark and made a world, with a lot of variety, but you can't create your own world. It's just so I'm intrigued. I just leave it at that. I really am. I will be following that game. And Rhyme,
All
I'm
right.
sorry, people. For all the Sony fans out there, if you throw salt my way, I'm going to apologize in advance, but I'm sorry. But you guys have got to know they kind of ripped that concept right from Nintendo. I'm going to say this is the reason why. Because the color palette, it was light colored. It was just like WoW was. It was, light colors. It looked very kiddie. To me, it was kind of like Prince of Persia plus like an open world kind of Zelda kind of thing. Like that's how I kind of thought about it. You can see where they were trying to go with it. I would say Prince of Persia and Aladdin maybe, but I'm actually interested in that game. I'm going to keep following that game. It does look promising, but that's a look. I need to see more about it. And it looks like it's kind of cell shaded or something related to it, which leads me to believe even more they're trying to follow Nintendo. But at the same time, they did announce about a month or so back that in Europe they were going to try to actually capture the Nintendo Wii's fan base. So this is an actual official statement from them. So yeah, I can see that Rhyme is probably a part of that. But Rhyme was good. I give more credit to, was it Bloodborne?
All right.
They actually showed some gameplay, and it actually looks cooler than it did at E3. I don't know what the hell they showed at E3, but it wasn't
just
that
like
great. But
it was just a CGI trailer. What do you think?
yeah, well, you mean that? Yeah. But I have to say what I've seen this time. I'm a little more interested in Bloodborne, but at the same time, it's still just another zombie game with dark colors and stuff. So not too big on that.
All
But
right.
overall, I think their conference was good. And this is me being completely honest. I thought it was good. You know, if I had to give it a number, I would honestly say 6 out of 10. You know, it was mostly positive. They did show a little gameplay on a few games out there. They gave a few release dates. But, you know, overall, I can honestly say the highlights to me were Rhyme, Wild, and there was some other game they announced, but I can't think of what it was. I have probably have to bring it back up later on.
All right then. Red Fox. I know it looked just focus on the positive for now. Okay. So just what do you think at least intrigued you throughout that conference?
Actually, even though I talked bad about Rhyme earlier, I'll be honest with you. I'm glad the Sony fan base is getting a game that isn't just some angry white guy, some angry bald-headed white guy, or Uncharted. I'm glad they're getting something, something that looks like it's just genuinely fun and not just uh, I'm happy about that. Rhyme looked awesome. I'm glad Sony has started to put their best foot forward and kind of get, uh, although some would call that poaching, but whatever. Because they need exclusives on that system.
All right. So, all right. Now that we got all right. All right. I forgot about myself. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, Rhyme really, of course, intrigued me. Because it just has that art style look that I love. It just reminds me of a lot of Wind Waker. So that really just got me. I don't know why the only problem with me is like why the color is faded, but whatever.
Well,
Um,
they didn't want to be an exact duplicate of Wind Waker.
yeah. I actually thought at first it was what was that game? The Witness, right? The one that they showed last year. It was like just the scenery, and they said it was supposed to be like something with like puzzles and exploration. But I thought it was that at first, but no, it was totally something new. Um, yeah, that's to be honest, that's about it for me. All right, so let's move on to everybody's favorite part, right? The negatives. Okay, so who wants to take this up first?
I wouldn't
Uh,
necessarily say favorite parts, I'd just say meaty.
I'll
Oh,
start out because I'm pretty sure you guys are going to be a lot worse.
All right, let's see. Let's go like
I'll kind
let's
of
go
lead
like
the
this.
card on them. So
Let's go like this. Ken, you go first. Zen, you go next, and then Red Fox, you go. All right, we'll go in that order. Go.
I think Zen should go last, to be honest. But
All right, all right. Let's switch that around then.
um, the bad, as I probably mentioned earlier in passing, it was really just I would say 80% trailers. Even the trailers contain very little gameplay footage. And me, I really doubt that any of it is actually in engine or actually, running in game. But to me, it was just like E3, but it was just a whole bunch of trailers. And I said it to my Google Plus post today, the pacing to me was just off. It's like how they would show like a really dark, game with like a really dark mood to it or tone, and then next thing you know, it like the trailer would fade into like a game that's like almost Nintendo. Like it's like, what the hell are you guys doing? Like this should not have been fused with that. This should not be. You should have a game from was like WM Studios or whatever following up a very dark trailer like that, like a very dark tone game. So I thought the organization and pacing was kind of bad, but to me it was just they had a lot of trailers. I thought I would see more of No Man's Sky, but I didn't. But I understand that was just a couple of months back. But they would just like Xbox, they were just depending heavily on third party. Even though they had a lot of indies, it's just like only thing I heard them say is um, coming. It's coming console exclusive to PS4 first or whatever. It's like so basically Xbox is gonna get it in probably a month's time, and then PC is gonna get like maybe 3 months after that. So it's not really an exclusive game. You just have access to it first. I saw very little first party content, and I've argued with a few people online that say it's not all about first party. It's just like, but first parties or exclusive titles are what bring me or give me reason to buy your console. I'm not gonna buy your console if I can get the game you're offering on any other console that I already have in my home. I need a reason to come get your console. Like when it came to PS3, if you wanted to play Uncharted, you had to get a PlayStation 3. There was no other way to play it. If you wanted God of War, you had to get a PlayStation 3. There was no other way around that. And this time I felt like with some of your best blockbuster hits, whether they be, highly anticipated indie games or, AAA console games, I would even say AA console games, most of them were third party. And they were multi-plat, and I can basically get them either on the past generation or on the Xbox One, which I plan on buying. So that's the only thing I felt what they left out is like, give me a reason to pick up your console, not the early Destiny beta, not the exclusive content you may have for Destiny beta, nothing like that. Give me something that's gonna make me get your brand new PS4. And I didn't get that, not yet. There were a few games I was interested in, like Rhyme, but I still didn't get that feeling of, okay, I'm going to move my PlayStation 4 purchase from holiday 2015 to maybe early 2015. I did not get that.
Oh,
That's
host.
All right. No, I thought you would go next, but
Okay.
all right. Red Fox, what is? God dang, just go, just go.
I'm gonna throw this off on. This is just something that was bothering me a little bit, even though I said earlier that it's good for them that they did it, but overall for the gaming community, it's not good.
Right.
Two things. I don't like the fact they're making bundles for third-party games, because the way I look at it is if you're going to make a bundle for something, at least make a bundle for something that you're only going to get on one person's console. Like Microsoft's making a Call of Duty bundle. I'm like, dude, you get Call of Duty on everything. Everything. Seriously? And I find that to be a little odd. I also find the games to be a little bothersome. I mean, I know why Microsoft and Sony are doing it because, like, they literally they're trying to not admit it, but they're in a drought too, just like Nintendo was. But I mean, they're doing it with what they got, which is a ton of relationships with third parties that they can basically give them money, and Microsoft can, and Sony is buying indies because, frankly speaking, they can't afford the third parties anymore. Except for maybe Ubisoft, because they have a special relationship with them. So, I mean, they really need them. They need those games. They need to build up their library and say, we have a healthy library. We have games for everyone. But, I mean, it's not really good for the industry for people to do that. So, I mean,
All right.
I don't like the whole, like, bundles for games that are going to be on everything. That's odd to me.
Okay, I get you. So Zen, just God dang, just go. God dang it.
Okay. So, at E3, we got Nathan Drake waking up in a pond. Yay. And now, we get just a little tidbit, just a little bit more of one of your most prolific games. Really, Sony? Now we get no mention of the Vita. The Vita is just freaking dead now. It was like, yo, hey, we had a handle? Shit, I didn't know that. So, that's the message that he sent to me.
Just keep it down with the language a little bit. Just
Hold on, there's one more thing I forgot to mention. I'm not sure if you mentioned it because you said a lot in like 60 seconds. But I was let down by the no show of Last Guardian.
Mm,
Yeah.
Listen.
Money take that game, man.
Listen.
No, no, no,
People,
no, 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 don't get me
people.
wrong. I'm not looking. Don't get it twisted, people. And this is not because I'm not a PS. I'm not a PlayStation hater. Not at all. I have a PS3, PS2, and PS1. But I'm not looking at this game, like it's promised to me, like I have to have it. Yeah, I'm not looking at this game the same way games is waiting on Kingdom Hearts 3. Sorry for the hit there. But I can honestly say that they announced it. I was very interested, and I said to myself, well, if they didn't do anything about it at E3, they definitely should do it right now because people are losing faith in it. And when I didn't see that, I'm like, this game has probably been canned, and they won't say anything about it to the last minute.
Write it off. Just they're not gonna. You know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them not making that game because you know what? The dude who made it, didn't he leave?
I think. Because a lot of people actually have been leaving. Which studio is this again? That is making that.
I mean, not last story. He did the damn Eco.
Let me look it up real quick.
Oh, yeah. Which studio was that again?
I thought he left.
Huh. Go ahead and check up on that. But yeah. So don't worry. I'm. Before Zen continues, man. Let me just go. Where's my Kingdom Hearts, man? Where is it? Where is it? You leaving me faithless. Oh my God, you leaving me faithless. I only have Tokyo Game Show next year's E3, man. That's all the hope I get. I'm just telling you that's basically the only hope I had during this whole conference.
Extending it a bit, aren't we? Next year's
Hey.
E3?
Yeah, next year's E3. After that, I'm done.
I thought TGS was it.
No.
Oh, really? All right. You have more hope in that bubble of yours than I thought.
But yeah, I was really hoping for something there. It was Kingdom Hearts, and of course that didn't happen. I wanted something, to go ahead and be happy with, to have a big, huge smile on my face, but apparently not. So gotta wait till TGS. But out of all, Sony, God dang it, Sony. Just God dang it. Why is it that you guys show more CGI than actual gameplay? Like, this is why Last of Us is becoming
It's,
a movie,
it's,
man.
it's Team Eco.
Team Eco, right?
It's Team Eco. That's the developer. Yeah.
Okay. But the thing is, it's just like, if you guys want to do CGI so much, just focus on your Ratchet and Clank movie and your Sly Cooper movie and just be done with it, okay?
Hold on. What the hell are you doing, man? We don't want more of that.
apparently that's what they want to be, though. But
That movie, look. If you're not gonna make another Sly Cooper game, another Jack and Dexter game, and damn it, another Ratchet and Clank game, then don't give me a damn movie. If it's not a game, don't give me a movie.
the thing is, it's just
That's
for real.
kinda
I was
harsh.
actually hoping for some things like that for Jack and Daxter, something like that, because usually, sometimes around Gamescom they always release stuff that they wouldn't release at E3 because they're like, oh, let's just save it for Gamescom. It's gonna be such a big surprise, and that really just lets me down. But
Are we done cutting Sony a break?
oh my God. But Sony. All right, there's no mention for the Vita, of course, because they already know that's basically dead. And yeah, I mean, they really didn't do anything to really impress. All they do is just, of course, they show off numbers, and I'm surprised they didn't do the whole thing where now 5 million people have pressed the share button. Like, I'm glad they didn't do that, but it's just
Oh, but we did get some arbitrary numbers that no one should rightly care about.
Oh yeah, the sales number. I know, but it's like, I'm talking about like those kind of pathetic numbers.
People
really
shouldn't
pathetic.
care about the sales of a console. You have it, you have it. Sorry.
Exactly. But it's just.
And then don't proof. They're like, I made $10 million last year. Well, what's the proof? It's just my word for it.
I mean, it's just, to me, when you have to like shout every single time during when you have a press event that you sold this amount of consoles every single time, and combine all your consoles, that to me tells me that you're just that it's just sad. You know,
People
it
think
really is,
that
and
I
I
am
don't want it to be that
unnecessarily
way.
hard on Sony. I remember a Sony that was absolutely dominant. They were juggernauts in this industry. Now, what we have is a shallow shell of what it used to be, and everybody just cutting them a break. Oh, well, give them some time. Come on. They're only a multi-billion-dollar company. I'm sure they're going to do better later.
Because trust me,
But you know what? Microsoft also committed a sin with with that. It did, because remember during the whole Halo presentation, they kept on throwing out 60 frames per second, 1080p. It's like that's usually Sony's thing, and now you're throwing this around like we should be impressed by it. You already promised us this, and then it's already been reports that you can't even achieve this.
Yep.
But they threw that number out there.
Here's the thing, people. Look, listen. Games, man. Kingdom Hearts should be very deep into development. Last Guardian should be done. Last Guardian should be out. The goddamn Vita should have games. Okay? I'm really tired of people saying, no, give them time, wait. They're going to do better. Stop with that shit. Seriously.
Okay, all right, calm down. Calm down.
Because the more I go all over the internet, the more I see this, and it pisses me off. I'm telling you.
All right.
Where are the people that I called fan alongside me who knew what Sony was capable of? Where did they go? All we have now are a bunch of excuse makers and people who are willing to wait for greatness that will never come.
I mean, it's just, back then Sony was really great. The PS1 had great games. It was great. I played Crash. I played Mega Man Legends. I played basically God dang, I don't know how big their library was. But, then PS2 came. That was an excellent system. I really loved the system. That brought a great series called Kingdom Hearts, and that's why I'm like loyal to it now till this day. And I mean for Kingdom Hearts. And PS3. I mean, to me it was okay. It was kind of a slow drop down. It was more like it was set to be a Blu-ray player at first.
Wow,
but then they decided to. Yeah, what? What did you say?
You said,
okay.
Hey, it was okay.
Oh,
it was okay.
I mean, it was.
It's just how you said it. It sounds like you didn't really mean it.
I understand games because the reason I got a PS1 was because I wanted to play RPGs. I got into a life cycle because it was really cheap and the games were cheap. I was like, you know what, I'm going to play all those RPGs. I said F you to Sony too because they stole all the third parties away from Nintendo. And I got a PS1. I was like, man, this is the RPG system. Got a PS2 because man, this is the RPG system. But then the PS3 came along, and the amount of RPGs that came to that system dropped out of the floor. It
is absolutely ridiculous when you really think about it. Absolutely ridiculous. Dudes, listen here. If Nintendo one day out of the blue told me that the $199, the $200 that I paid for my 3DS was now null and void because they had no more intention of supporting it, I'd be busting them a new nut too. That's the way it is. I'm a gamer and I spend money for my products that I expect to be supported. I don't sit there, spend my money, and then make excuses as to why they're not. And that is what's going on. How many news outlets out there are making even any notice towards the fact that Vita didn't get mentioned at all at Gamescom after not really being mentioned at E3?
Actually,
no one.
Kotaku.
Kotaku? I don't really trust their certain analysis on certain things. I have my reasons as to why, but I'm not going to delve into that. But here's the thing: no one's making a big scene about that. You can bet your bottom dollar, your last nickel, that if this situation was reversed between those companies who are competing in the handheld market, We be hearing about this every single goddamn day. Now, my question is, why are people so willing to cut Sony a break when they're less than half of what they used to be? Why are they willing to spend money on a promise that is not being fulfilled, then make excuses when it's either delayed or canceled or is not coming anymore whatsoever? Why should you sit there and take this when you are paying your money for things that they will never bring, or they are failing to bring, or they are delaying the delivery of? Why are you so willing to cut them so many breaks? I do not understand this. Not from not from a Nintendo perspective, not from a Microsoft perspective, because if they both did half of the things that Sony has done and got away scot-free, like a criminal in Orange, I'm telling you, you just bust out of there, free as a bird, man, with the kind of things that they're doing, I would be just as upset, even more so, because again, this is your thing, Sony. Sony guys, I'm talking to you. This is not my thing. Nintendo is my thing. And I will get on their asses if I need to when they disappoint me. But you guys, you don't do that. You just sit there and you hope and you wait and you pray and you hope and you damage control and you wait and you hope and you pray. All the while, because if you didn't say anything, I would have nothing to say to you. All the while trying to belittle the great, better achievements of the competitors of your company of choice, just to make it seem that the failures of the company of choice are not occurring. You're paying money to a multi-billion-dollar company to sit there and damage control for them. That baffles me. I have thought about this every which way I can, and Gamescom in particular, when we're coming back to Gamescom, this is when it finally began to boil over. I'm like, this was such a disappointing showing for Sony. Such a disappointing showing for Sony. Yeah, they had new IPs. Let's leave those alone. They were great for what they were. But none of the things they promised you prior, none of that. Where is that? Where is your handheld stuff? Where is that? Well, I mean, we have the Vita TV launching soon, but what are you going to do with it when there are no games for the platform? The games that you're supposed to have on the PS4 this year, where are those? What are you providing in the meantime while those games are being finished? What are you doing? And why are you, the fans that pay money, why are you so okay with this? I don't understand it. I just don't. It blew my mind. I'm sitting here, I'm reading Microsoft news. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. They did what they did. And frankly, they pretty much followed up what they did at E3, which is pretty fine, which is pretty good. And then I see this lackluster effort from Sony, yet no one seems to have a problem with it. And my major question here is why? When you already spent your money, promises were made to you, why aren't you asking Sony or anyone who can possibly provide you an answer, what's up? That's all.
All right. Well, you know, in general, you know, Sony, they showed off good games, right? They showed off some games that we didn't know about so far. But, you know, in general, they did not show anything for their handheld platform, which is the Vita. They just basically gave up on it and just leave it for third parties to just use, right, like a tool. So, you know, it's really sad to see that, and you know, that reminds me of, you know, when Sega used to do that, right? They only last 2 years with a console, and they're just like, oh, here's a new one, you know, so screw the other one, we're done with that one. And that really, you know, it really just, I don't know why, but they're acting like the new Sega for the console, when you know, Sega was making consoles. So it's really just disappointing.
It's very interesting you bring up Sega and comparing them to Sega, because they have something Sega didn't. Sega didn't have the crowd. People turned against them really quickly, called them out on everything, every mistake they made. Sony has the crowd. A crowd that's unwilling to call them out on anything so they can continue getting away with it. You see, word of mouth spreads. And if people have this false sense of, I'm looking for a word, I'm going to say security, this false sense of dominance in this industry, the whole coating that they lay over the whole 10 million sold on what I have to ask, but they have this aura about them, created solely by the media and by the perpetuation of what the media says by the fans. And even though they're doing the same crap that Sega did, they're getting away with it. And there's a sense of success oozing from them, which is crazy. So you drew a comparison between Sega and Sony. I can give you that, where they're just abandoning platforms, making promises, not keeping them, things like that. But Sony has the crowd, and so they're gonna get away with this for a lot longer than Sega ever did, which is sad.
Mm-hmm. So, let's just get done with Sony. Basically, excuse me. Let's just go by what we would score these. Now, I'm gonna go by a thumbs up, thumbs down, or just right in the middle. So actually, no. You know what? Screw that. One out of 5. So Ken, what do you give Microsoft for what they did?
Ken left.
Oh, he did? I didn't know. Oh shoot. All right.
Technical difficulties, I
Yeah,
suppose.
probably.
All right. One to 5. Microsoft.
Go ahead.
I will give Microsoft a I would say 3, but then we have that whole route with Tomb Raider. Despite the fact it's not a blank slate exclusive, I'm gonna give them a 4 because they showed off why and gave me reasons as to why I should want an Xbox One. These are things they failed to do in the past, and they followed what they did at E3, which was continue to show value for the platform. So that's a 4. As for Sony, I'm going to give them a 1.
Ooh. Dang.
Based solely on the fact that they abandoned an entire platform and gave no reasons as to why. They just did it. No, sorry guys. No, here are some free games on the PS4 because we messed up on the Vita. No ambassador program, no apology, no statements, whether PR or not, nothing. They just abandoned it, didn't show anything for it at E3. People thought they were waiting for Gamescom, Colin Moriarty. Nothing at Gamescom, and they just gave no reasons as to why, and still no one's making a fuss about it. So let me be the only one, apparently, either on YouTube or within the entire media, to perhaps tell the truth about this. It deserves a 1. So,
Alright.
yeah.
Red Fox, what do you give both of these conferences? So starting out with Microsoft, what do you give 1 out of 5?
I give Microsoft a 3. They came, they tried. I won't say they conquered, but they came, they saw, they tried to conquer. But, I mean, look, they did the best they could with what they had. And, if you send a dude with a slingshot to fight dudes with machine guns and grenades, I mean, he might be able to, get someone in the eye, but still he's not going to do too well. But they did pretty well with their slingshot. Sony gets, I'm going to give them a 2. I would give them a 1, but I mean, it's not so much what Sony did. It's how it's their methods that I really don't like. So they get a 2.
All right. With me, I would grade Microsoft a 4. That is because they really at least showed gameplay of stuff. Even though most of the things were like CGI, though they really impressed me with showing off more of especially Halo, and telling us about the beta, and also telling us about the channel, the Halo TV, as I'm gonna call it. You guys can call it somewhere else or what it actually is, but the Halo TV app, which will be coming to Xbox One soon, and that's really good because for new people who never played Halo like myself, that's great. That's a perfect opportunity to just get into Halo like that. So really great that they showed off a lot of things, especially for that. And Sony, I'm gonna give them a 2. That is because I did like some of their stuff. Rhyme, uh, Rhyme really looks like that game where it's just gonna be fun. Because it just looks so adventurous, right? It just looks so like you're gonna have that nice good adventure, Um, and the reason why I give them basically a 2 was you don't just leave a platform, man. You don't just leave a platform there to die when people bought it with their own money. How much is the thing? $250, right?
Hmm.
And they abandoned that. I feel bad for those people who had to pay $250 and now their money's gone to waste. And I
Well,
see that Ken's back, but um, it's great to see. At least they have something. Bloodborne really impressed me. Actually, it was really good. I forgot to mention that. And yeah, I just hope they do better in the future. I really do. I miss that old Sony from PS1 and PS2 and somewhat in PS3 days. It was great because they were coming up with franchises. They were doing great so far with at least coming up with these great titles, but now they're just like remakes and just counting on third party, and that really like doesn't it really upsets me. But Ken, we were just going on with the grading system. So first off, with Microsoft, you got between 1 and 5. What do you give them if you're there?
Would I give Microsoft between 1 and 5?
And then Sony, you can do the same thing.
Soft. I give them a 3. I give Microsoft a 3.5 out of
Okay.
5. I give them credit for those new bundles they announced. They all are pretty, they're pretty decent bundles. They really are. And one of them I actually do want, so extra, half point for that. Um, and for Sony, I give them a 3 out of 5 because I said it wasn't bad and it wasn't great. It was good. I mainly give them that because it was eons better than what they did at E3. They only mention PlayStation Now and whatever the other thing is that they had got going on. Oh yeah, PlayStation TV. They only briefly mention that, and they did show a lot of games, a lot of indie games that I am interested in. Although most are multi-plat, I still have to say that I think they did a decent job. They need to do more, but at this point, they're still, to me, they're on an upward swing. They're getting better than what they were at E3. I could say that. So I give them a 3 out of 5, and Microsoft a 3.5 out of 5.
All right, that's pretty close. Wow.
very.
Um, so yeah, guys, that's basically the scores here that we give these conferences at Gamescom. Gamescom was, to be honest, to me, I mean, it's okay, but it's glad to at least have it for the Europeans that are there all the way over there in the UK. So it's great to see, they get to at least enjoy the game demos and stuff. So yeah, Gamescom so far, don't. So basically, this is the end. I can see there's no questions, so that's fine. But I'll make sure to do that probably next time there is a podcast of this. But so basically, guys, make sure you catch on tomorrow. Tomorrow, Jay of the J Cafe is going to be hosting tomorrow's Gamescom Day Wrap Up 2, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that. We'll probably be back on there today. I'm not sure what happened, but it's all good. Glad to at least chat with these gents here, and we're gonna start exiting. So signing out. So go ahead. We can start off with you, Ken.
All right. Well, this is Ken, aka Dr. Feelgood here. The guys, I said, with the smooth moves and nice tunes, always in a gaming mood. It was a pleasure to be here tonight to give my 2 cents on the Gamescom thus far. And hate to admit this, I was probably the only guy on Sony's side for the most part. I can't,
Hell yes.
it's just sad. But, as I always say, you guys keep it gaming, and I should have some videos coming up soon about, each of the conferences and certain details within them. But until then, catch you guys later.
All right. Red Fox, do you think?
Mr. Fox, as I always, as my note, look, just game on, okay, and have a good day.
All right, nice and sweet. Zen, go ahead.
Nah, I ain't zen right now, man. I ain't zen right now.
Fine. Negative gamer, go.
Angry gamer.
Yeah.
Hey, people. This is the Angry Gamer signing off here from this Gamescom wrap-off because I'm angry and pissed. But anyway, you're going to see more of this out of me on Friday. But for now, let's sign off before I flip a table over here.
Yes, this Friday, Zen will be hosting, or Zen/Angry Gamer will be hosting a Logicast this Friday. So hopefully you guys can catch on to that. You're gonna have a good time. Let's just say that. A lot of laughs. You'll be very entertained. So yeah, for my sign out, Mega Gamer. As I always say, don't lose your way. Don't be afraid. Just game till the end. And make sure to go ahead and, if you're new to this channel and you're just seeing this, go ahead and sub to the gamers at large. It's really good network. We really try to keep it positive. We want to create a great gaming community, and this is basically the best way we could ever do it. So it's really great. Go ahead if you want to sign up to be part of it. Go ahead and ask the members, or you can go ahead in the chat and go ahead and be like, if you want to apply, then I'll leave you with either myself or Jamie and Jay, which are also Gamers at Large members. And go ahead and, like I said, go ahead and sub. And if you want to join again, just put in the comments right now. We have to review your channel though, and all that, so that way we can see. So yeah, basically in total, it's really great. So trust me, this is the greatest network so far, and can't wait to see more people joining, and can't wait for you guys to enjoy more of the content we have to share. So as it is, man. We are Gamers at Large, so yeah, I'll see you guys later. And remember, gaming is a hobby, and gaming is also a rest.
A lifestyle. What the hell are you talking
A
about?
lifestyle sometimes, if you want to put it that way, alright? So make sure you have fun with your games, and never, ever let anybody else tell you otherwise. Peace.
And our album Audible will be coming pretty soon, guys.
Peace. Oh, one more thing, actually. The 27th, since the Mario Kart 8 DLC will be released and the patch, hopefully this fixes the online, please. We will be doing a tournament, so there will be more details I'll put in. I'm going to create a little hangout, so that way I can give you more details on that if you guys want to join in. And yes, it's going to be on the 27th. That's when the DLC comes out and the patch. So we're going to be, having fun on there. And look out for more information on the Mario Kart 8 tournament. So, all right, this time for sure. See you guys later. And see you next time on Gamers at Large podcast on Sunday. I'll be hosting that. So hope to see you guys then. So now, for real, goodbye. Peace.